They thought they could order a river around. They thought dirt berms, glossy pamphlets, and HOA votes would bend nature to their will. But the night the rain came, it wasn't my fields that drowned. It was their manicured lawns, their gazebos, and finally the house of the woman who started it all. Karen Walsh, screaming in ankle-deep water like the river owed her an apology. I never asked for this fight. My family's farm sat at the edge of Briar Glen, a neighborhood that pretended to be peaceful with its newsletters and Yard of the Month awards, but it was always about control. My land was different rows of beans and squash, a barn older than any of their houses, and the river steady as breath winding along the back edge. It had fed us for 3 generations. My daughter Eliza learned to plant seeds in that soil the same way I once had. We didn't own the river, nobody truly does, but we respected it, and it respected us back. Then Karen showed up. Platinum hair SUV tires that never touched mud sunglasses in the rain. Within months, she seized the HOA presidency, waving promises of increased property values like it was scripture. She thrived on telling other people what to do. I ignored her until the day she parked outside my gate, lips tight, clipboard clutched like a weapon. "Mr. Halstead," she said, "we need to talk about the river." I told her flat out, "It's not your jurisdiction. Your authority ends at the fence." Her smile twitched just for a second, and that was the moment I knew she'd come for me. A week later, every homeowner in Briar Glen got a glossy pamphlet with a drone shot of the neighborhood and a bold headline, "Securing Our Future Flood Mitigation and Property Safety Enhancement Plan." In the fine print proposals to redirect water flow behind lots that sat against my land, nowhere did it mention that the new channel would cut straight into my field. I went to the HOA meeting. Haven't stepped foot in their beige clubhouse since my wife was alive. Back then it smelled like barbecue and cheap beer. This time it smelled like perfume and power. Karen stood at the front with a slideshow of cartoon rivers and CGI walking trails. I raised my hand. "That's not a creek," I said, standing. "It's a river, and your plan floods me out." Karen didn't flinch. "Thank you for your comment. The board has consulted professionals." "Landscaping engineers," I shot back. "Not hydrologists, not the State Water Authority. Landscaping." Her smile cracked, but the board still voted yes. 5 hands up like a firing squad. Just like that, my land, my river, my family's legacy was voted away. That night, Eliza sat on the porch in her pajamas, asking Dad, "Can they really do that?" "No," I said, "not legally, but that won't stop them." The machines arrived days later, bulldozers chewing at the soil, chainsaws ripping through elder trees older than their cul-de-sacs. I confronted the crew. They shrugged. "We're working under the HOA. All legal." It wasn't. I knew it wasn't. But try telling that to a man behind mirrored sunglasses who thinks a clipboard is the Constitution. Then the rain came. The first storm swelled the trenches they carved. My lower fields drowned. Corn seedlings floated sideways, hoses sagged beneath the muck. I bent down, scooped the water into my hand. It was warm, stagnant wrong. And waiting on my gate was an orange notice from the HOA. Property in violation, standing water, mosquito hazard. They created the problem, then fined me for it. HOA Warfare 101. I wanted to quit. I really did. Sitting on the porch letter crumpled in my fist, I thought about selling out, leaving Briar Glen to rot under its own rules. Maybe I was the stubborn one. Maybe I was wrong to fight. But then I looked at Eliza, 12 years old, drawing a crooked bulldozer in her sketch pad with "not cool" scrawled above it. She asked if we'd lose the farm. I couldn't lie to her. I couldn't leave her thinking her dad let a paper queen steal what 3 generations had built. So I fought back. I called an old friend, Caleb, who used to work for the county water division. He laughed bitterly when he saw the plans. They didn't file for permits. Not one. They're idiots. He told me to document everything: photos, soil samples, time-stamped footage. So I set up trail cameras disguised high in the trees. Every bulldozer blade, every trench cut, every flag planted on my boundary line, I caught it all. Then I brought in a licensed floodplain engineer, May Gunderson. She walked the berm for 6 hours, flew drones overhead, scribbled notes, then finally said, "Flat, they're screwed." Her report confirmed it. Unauthorized diversion. illegal grading, no runoff controls violations stacked higher than their sandbags. I finally had leverage. But Karen wasn't slowing down. They doubled the berm-installed culverts, turned my field into their drainage basin. More fines nailed to my gate. Then came the cease and desist letter accusing me of mismanaging water. I laughed so hard it scared Eliza. They'd built a dam to drown me, and now they claimed I was flooding them. I sent everything photos, footage, expert reports to the state. Then I waited, because I knew rivers, and I knew storms. When the big one came, the sky split like a bruise. Sheets of rain hammered the berm, pounding the culvert until it groaned. My cameras blinked red as the soil shifted, rivulets carving down the slope. I heard the crack, deep, ancient, and then the wall gave way. The river roared back, not into my farm this time, but straight into Briar Glen. Lot 36 disappeared. First hedges ripped out like toothpicks, patios collapsing, lawn chairs swirling away in the current. Neighbors stood screaming, filming on their phones. And Karen, oh Karen, she stood barefoot on her porch, arms out like she could command the water. Her perfect blouse plastered to her frame, her platinum bob hanging limp, she screamed. Not words, just raw sound. The river didn't care. It swallowed her patio, whole boards splintering, porch sagging beneath her feet, until she dropped halfway through with a shriek. She clawed herself out, mud-streaked and trembling, while cameras rolled from every angle. By morning, news vans circled the cul-de-sac. Headlines read, "Unauthorized HOA Flood Project Collapses, Neighborhood Underwater." Inspectors arrived, clipboards in hand, walking the berm like coroners examining a corpse. They didn't have to look far. My footage showed Karen directing the contractors herself, smiling as they cut trenches into land they didn't own. The courtroom smelled like old paper and cold coffee. I sat in my best shirt, Eliza beside me, trail camera footage queued up on the projector. Across the aisle sat Karen, thinner, duller cardigan swallowing her frame. Her lawyer tried to blame the weather, the city, even climate change. Our lawyer just hit play. The judge watched the bulldozers arrive, watched Karen pointing past the property line, watched the berm collapse and water tear through her street. Then he listened to May's testimony, reckless construction permit violations, malicious disregard for state law. Karen never spoke, not one word. She sat there shrinking in her seat while the judge ruled the HOA liable for damages, ordered to restore the river cover. My losses pay legal fees. Karen, stripped of her position, fined personally. She walked out of that courtroom without looking at anyone, heels clicking against the tile like the last hollow echo of her power. And me, I didn't celebrate. I didn't smile. I just thought about the river flowing steady long before her and steady long after. Because here's the truth, you can bully people with papers and clipboards, but you can't bully water. And rivers always win.